early in Scripture, when a parent chose a name for its child, it reflected the nature of the child's birth, the gratitude of the parents to God for giving them a child, their hopes, their prayers for the success of their child, and even the feelings of the parents at the time of birth. For an example, Isaac reflected laughter due to his mother's dismay that because she had reached golden years, because she was chronologically matured, because of extended days on the earth, when she heard that she would have a child, she began to laugh. So God says, since you're going to laugh at me, name your child Aha. Name your child Laughter. Name him Isaac. Esau meant hairy because when he came out, he had a hairy appearance. Jacob meant supplanter, trickster, because he pulled at the heel of his brother and wanted to be first. Nathaniel means that God gives. Timothy means honored of God. But when Jabez's mother named him, it was not a name that you do flips over. It was not a name that was complimentary. It did not promote him. It did not honor him. But his name was meant to scar him for life. His name was meant to be a reproach against him unless he did something about it. I like Jabez's spirit because he really says that I don't care what you call me, I'm not going to accept it. I don't care what you say about me. You might even be my natural born mother. But if you put a name on me that I don't agree with, I'm not going to accept even the own name my mother gave me. Because I believe that God has something in store for me, and what's mine, I want to get it. Jabez is somewhat picked on or picked out to be picked on. As you read here in the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 4 specifically, but even when you look back at chapters 2 and 3, you read the names of the individuals listed, we see no definition for their names. We see no biography. We see no life history. We see no personal profile. But in Jabez, we see a description of who he is. I believe it's shown that we may see the power of sincere prayer. Oh, I haven't been with the Lord as long as some of you. I may have been walking with the Lord now some 25 years, about half of my life. But in the few years of walking with the Lord, I've learned that prayer changes things. In these few years of walking with Jesus, nobody has to tell me to pray, because I know when I pray, God's going to help me out. I know when I pray, if God doesn't change the situation I'm in, he'll help me to be able to deal with the situation. I know that when I pray, God conditions me. And if I stay in tune with what he says, he's going to answer my request. Prayer changes things. How many know that prayer changes things? I've got a few witnesses. But when it comes to prayer, there are usually two kinds of people. Either those who do or those who don't. Ask your neighbor, which one are you? Because some folks only pray in a crisis. Some people only pray when they get in trouble. But there are others who pray, and expect nothing to happen. They go through the motions and pray, but they don't expect anything to happen. But then there's another group that when they pray, they start leaping in their spirit and dancing in their hearts because they're so excited. They know that God's going to answer their prayer. They're waiting with anticipation. They're waiting with expectancy because they know that what things soever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them and ye shall have them. They know that you have not because you ask not. They know in all things, believing in prayer, thou shalt receive. They know ask and receive. They know about it. So you got some folks that believe that prayer is right. The first thing that we see, the first thing we discover about Jabez here in the 4th chapter of Chronicles, verse number 9. Out of the clear blue, it lists all the genealogies of Judah. It talks about who begat who, whose father was this of, and all of a sudden it says, and Jabez was more honorable than his brethren. The first thing we see about Jabez is that he is more honorable. But why? Why is he more honorable? Scripture is silent on the reason it says he's more honorable. Verse 9 says his mother said that you're good for nothing. You're sorrowful. You're painful. You cause me a lot of misery. You cause me a lot of hurt. You cause me a lot of trouble. But Jabez remembers his history. He remembers, I'm from the tribe of Judah, and Judah means praise. And the only thing I can do, since you done told me I won't be anything, the only way I'll get out of this situation, I gotta praise my way out. And so he begins to praise his way out, and he begins to look to the hills from which cometh his help. And he said, oh God of Israel, bless me indeed. Lord, I know what my mama said. I know my mama said that I won't amount to anything. But Lord, I want you to bless me indeed. He prays a selfish prayer. It's not a good old Christian prayer. It's not a prayer that you would leave here talking about what kind of prayer was that. All he did was talk about himself. All he did was me, me, me. And you say, I know God not going to hear that kind of prayer. And all you are doing is focusing on you. But God looked at Jabez. And we got some Jabezes in here where your family have thrown you out. We got some Jabezes in here where people said you'll never amount to anything. You got some Jabezes in here when nobody is in your corner and look like everybody have worked tricks against you. You've been lied on and talked about and called everything but a child of God. So Jabez said, Lord, I know that my prayer is a selfish prayer, but God said it's all right, because since everybody else is, my God, counting you out, I'm gonna bring you in and let them know that they don't have any place to put you. I'm gonna let them know that what they say is just a word, but I'm gonna raise you up. His prayer was all about himself. He said, Lord, bless me.